Welcome to the Game 2 breakdown between the Warriors and Raptors. My name is Coach Gibson Pyper. In this breakdown, we're going to look at how the Warriors assisted on every single one of their baskets in the second half, the 18-0 run that the Warriors used to separate themselves in the third quarter, and the Raptors' box-and-one defense that actually was pretty effective late in the fourth quarter. Let's get into it. So before halftime, I actually tweeted out that I felt the Warriors were just a little bit off. They didn't have the right timing, the right zip, and the crispness in the offense wasn't there. Draymond and Iguodala weren't being as aggressive as I thought they could be. It just was an overall kind of a weird vibe. Well, that changed in the third quarter, and we're going to look at basically every bucket the Warriors scored almost in the whole second half because every one was assisted, which is just an amazing stat. So here we can see the very first possession of the third quarter. DeMarcus Cousins kind of attacks a little bit early in the offense. The ball gets reversed to Klay. Klay attacks, and then Iguodala actually does a nice job just stepping right in, catching and shooting a long two, and knocks it down. A big part of this was, sure, the Warriors' offense, but the Warriors' defense played a huge part too. Here we can see Draymond rotating over when Danny Green gets a little bit of an advantage. As Green tries to kick it out, Draymond gets his hands on the ball and gets a steal, and that triggers the fast break for the Warriors. Here we have a 3-on-2. The Raptors do actually a really good job of guarding this. We can see Kyle Lowry stays attached on Steph Curry. Steph does a good job getting him off balance and then attacking downhill. Now on this, Iguodala does a nice job of just being in the way. Steph finishes with a right-handed layup. So again here, the Warriors actually get caught a little bit here with DeMarcus Cousins in a side pick and roll. Klay does a really good job of recovering on Kawhi and getting a contest as best as you can against a player like Kawhi. This actually triggers the fast break for the Warriors. We can see Draymond kind of running out here, getting a little frustrated because he wanted the ball a little earlier to have a quicker advantage. Klay is going to actually cut through here. When Klay cuts through here, Gasol and Kawhi both go with him. That leaves Iguodala open in the corner. Iguodala just made an open shot, gets another three to go down, and that's how the Warriors get started in the third quarter as Nick Nurse calls a timeout. With the Warriors up two after a timeout, they ran their patented Cyclone set. You may have seen this on my channel as after timeout rip. Rip is just a back screen set. So here we can see Steph and Klay are going to kind of exchange low on the baseline here. Klay's going to exit out to the wing. Now we're going to watch Steph Curry set a back screen for Draymond. Draymond starts extremely high so he can get a running start. Steph's such a good shooter that Danny Green's not going to leave him. So we get this clean back screen on Kawhi Leonard, and that allows Draymond to have a wide open, easy layup. A patented play that the Warriors have run ever since Steve Kerr took over in the 2014-15 NBA playoffs. The Raptors, again, kind of settle for this weirdly not contested but not a great look from Marc Gasol from three. So the run kind of continues from that. An early post touch for DeMarcus Cousins, finding Klay on the cut. One of the things I love is whenever obviously the Warriors enter the ball in the post, they immediately look for that split cut action. So here we can see Klay automatically dive on the weak side. DeMarcus Cousins does a great job finding and locating him for the layup. In this scenario, the Raptors actually got a decent look here. Good rotation out by DeMarcus Cousins, but VanVleet just misses the three. The Warriors get an early push back. Draymond tries to find a little bit of early action. Two players on the ball, kind of tie up Draymond, but not really. What we need to really focus on here is Klay Thompson. As he curls and looks like he's going to kind of cut to the basket, he actually stops, hesitates, and sprints back out and relocates to three. Siakam just loses him for this brief second, and that's all it takes against the Warriors for Klay to get a wide open three. The next possession, the Warriors run a version of what I call their 35 empty set. So typically what we would see normally, this would be on the opposite side of the floor, usually involving Steph, Draymond, and KD when KD was healthy. And they would run this little double high ball screen like DeMarcus Cousins and Klay Thompson are running here. They would have the big, so in normal situations it would be Draymond who's going to pick and pop and then enter the ball in the post to Kevin Durant, and then they go into split cut action for Steph. Here we get the ball entered in like the mid-post type area for DeMarcus Cousins to get a little touch. This is way too easy of a cut for Klay Thompson to make, just driving right into the lane and finishing an easy layup. That cannot happen if you're the Raptors. The Raptors did get some clean looks. You can see Siakam gets a decent look here from a little floater. But again, the Warriors are out in transition, and what we're going to see here is the impact of Steph and Klay. So here we have Klay posting up VanVleet in the paint in the early offense. Iguodala is attacking. Gasol has to pick up the ball on Iguodala. Steph Curry is going to hang out on the three-point line to create spacing. That leaves Draymond basically running without any defender. All he has to do is catch and finish over the smaller defender Van Vliet, and it's a layup. Here's where the assist stat gets a little tricky. In my opinion, I don't know if this is assisted or not. The Warriors kind of get the ball moving just a little bit. Draymond receives it at the top of the key, absolutely blows by Kawhi Leonard and drives in with a scoop layup. Don't know if I would consider that as an assist, but so Steve Kerr called this play from the sideline. He signaled to his chest, which makes me think that is chest. It could be like shirt tug. I know they have like we had ear tug from the last game. It could be like a shirt tug or chest call. But in this scenario, we're going to see Steph hit Draymond in the middle of the floor. Looks like he's going to screen down, which they do a lot in their offense. Look like maybe some floppy action here. Steph's going to kind of continue on opposite and go all the way through. Steph's coming off of this little wide pin down or tight pin down here. He's going to curl because Van Vliet is kind of trailing and forcing him into that curl. So that read on the curl here means you just attack Ibaka just a little bit on that inside shoulder, and that leaves Bogut wide open for the roll for the nice dunk finish. If you're familiar with the Warriors this postseason, especially against the Rockets, you recognize this play immediately. This is their one side or fist side action that basically is an empty ball screen with Draymond Green and Steph Curry. I did a good breakdown on that on this channel. A lot of people have done good work breaking that down overall. All this does is create a little bit of an advantage for the Warriors. Bogut's running in for the lob here, so that leaves McKinney open. Now with this lineup, you got to think they're going to load up on Steph and Klay and really make anybody else beat them. So McKinney gets the ball and attacks the closeout from Lowry here. Does a good job. And once he attacks this closeout, now he has the advantage. They're not going to leave Steph. Bogut was a threat at the rim, and he knocks down the easy jumper. This is what I love about the Warriors offense. Here we can see Van Vliet was kind of getting up and denying Steph a little more. With this lineup on the floor, they took Klay out for rest. So Steph's actually going to set this little kind of inverted ball screen on Siakam. That allows Draymond to get downhill. Once Draymond gets downhill, we see Ibaka come in. Like he's going to take a charge for whatever reason. He's a good shot blocker. He should just go up with verticality here. But what we see here is Bogut on the weak sides actually setting this little flare screen or a pin-in screen on Kawhi. That leaves McKinney and Quinn Cook on the opposite side, playing a little 2-on-1 game with Norm Powell now. Extra pass, step in, shot, catch and shoot three. Good knockdown by Quinn. The next possession, we're going to see that same kind of inverted ball screen action where Steph's going to set this ball screen. Now the Raptors switch it, so Siakam's on Steph. Steph does a good job of getting lower than Siakam and attacking his hips. As Steph goes here, we're going to see him get downhill, and as he gets by Siakam, he knows that he really doesn't have an advantage here. The Warriors have pretty poor spacing, so he does a pretty savvy thing, which is what Chris Paul does all the time, where he kind of jumps into into the defender, going backwards and drawing the contact. Whether you think it's a foul or not, it's a pretty savvy play because that's what the NBA calls a foul. The Warriors again go to their one side action with Draymond setting this little side ball screen for Steph Curry. This time we're going to get two on the ball, so we hit Draymond on like that speed roll. Now look, we can see three Warriors are on the weak side with three Raptors playing on the weak side with Ibaka and Kawhi loaded to the ball. Bogut is going to run behind Ibaka on the blind side because Norm Powell basically has to guard three players now. And Draymond Green does a good job of recognizing that, and Bogut finishes with the dunk. The Warriors again go to their one side action. Now we get Siakam switched onto Steph. Steph gets it back. Kind of a clear out here for Steph. He's going to blow by Siakam a little bit, draw some help, kick it to Draymond. Now, one of the things that you have to know, if it's Steph Curry, you cannot leave him for a second, even if he's had an off game. Steph sprints out, relocates. We can see Norm Powell closes out just a little bit too late and a little bit too hand down. I say that as he's shooting from the Scotiabank Arena logo and knocks down the three. But against a player like Steph Curry, you can't afford not to close out like that. The Warriors' opening set of the fourth quarter is their fifth set, where Klay Thompson is going to set a little bit of a down screen almost, or like a ram screen, basically get the ball screener kind of freed up a little bit. In this case, it's Iguodala. As the ball screen occurs, so as Iguodala kind of goes up and kind of, he doesn't even set it here, but normally would set a ball screen. Klay Thompson comes off this little pin down from DeMarcus Cousins. What this does is Ibaka and Green both go out on Klay because Klay obviously is an extremely big threat from three. So that leaves Cousins open on the roll. That leaves Van Vliet or Powell to deal with DeMarcus Cousins, and DeMarcus Cousins is just too big and strong, so he finishes through that contact. The Warriors are coming back down in transition on their flow. DeMarcus Cousins just makes a quick blow-by move, avoids Kyle Lowry, and finishes a layup. Again, I mean, you tell me, I don't think this is an assist. in my opinion. I mean, all that happens is they just pass it to him, then he just drives and makes his own move and creates his own shot. This is a crucial part of the game offensively for the Warriors, at least. With this lineup on the floor, really Klay Thompson is the only true offensive threat. DeMarcus Cousins hadn't really been an offensive threat up to this point, besides his passing ability. So here we're going to see Cousins look to maybe get a little handoff or attack. The Raptors do a very good job of digging down. Van Vliet comes in and looks to maybe get a tie up or a double team, but he doesn't get it, and that leaves Quinn Cook wide open for a catch and shoot three. The Raptors got a little unlucky after missing a couple of short layups here, and that inevitably, of course, leads to the Warriors scoring. So Quinn Cook just hit that pretty tough three earlier. Now he gets a catch and shoot rhythm three in transition, and he knocks it down, putting the Warriors back up 10. It's a little tough to see here, but the Warriors run their sideline out of bounds, basically screen the screener or a back screen into a dribble handoff action. So we hit DeMarcus Cousins at the elbow here. Steph is going to set a back screen. The two options here are basically reverse the ball to Draymond Green and then go right into a screener action. Or Steph is going to set this back screen, which he does here. You can look to hit the back screen and go right into a dribble handoff. In this scenario, hit the back screen for Livingston, who finishes over Lowry. This is kind of the epitome of the Warriors offense, what it is. It should be at its fullest potential. Enter the ball to Draymond in the post. DeMarcus Cousins is then going to split for Steph Curry. A split cut basically just meaning go screen and then roll to the rim. So you can see DeMarcus Cousins is open on that roll a little bit. So Cousins attacks, hits Cook. Good recovery by Van Vliet here. But we're going to see the Warriors motion never stop moving. So Steph's going to kind of curl into the lane here. As he curls into the lane, he draws two, gets Lowry out of position, and that leaves Livingston to give a good pump fake and get fouled. So we're going to see here a little bit of switching with Kawhi onto Steph now. They're going to bring Marc Gasol up in the ball screen and have Bogut set the screen. So now we hit Bogut on the short roll. Now we're playing 4-on-3 for the Warriors. The Bogut hits Livingston, and then Livingston drives and makes this nice little pro pass to Draymond for the layup. Last possession, Bogut set the screen with Steph. This time he's going to slip and dive right to the rim. Steph drives into the lane, draws basically all 5 defenders from the Raptors, kicks to Draymond. Now Steph does his patented relocate, where he relocates out to the three-point line. Lowry goes with Steph, and it's important to watch Kawhi here. Gasol is going to recover just a little bit on Draymond. Kawhi just takes a little bit of hesitation, like he might need to go out with Steph. That's all it takes for Draymond to drive right in the lane, end up throwing the nice lob or pro pass to Bogut for the old man tip-in. Now let's look at the Raptors' box-and-one zone. That's right, the Raptors played a box-and-one zone in the NBA Finals in 2019. I have to say, it worked really well. So here we're going to see basically Van Vliet's responsibility is Steph Curry. Don't leave Steph Curry. Don't let him get it back. Here we see Siakam and Gasol are at the blocks. Kawhi and Lowry are at the elbows. Now, obviously, Lowry's cheating up a little bit. It's going to kind of morph to wherever the offense goes, if that makes sense. So if 3 players are on the opposite side, you would see Kawhi shift up, Gasol shift up, and Siakam probably shift over and kind of match up to where the offensive players are. But since there's basically 4 non-shooters, Quinn Cook had hit a couple threes, but really the only offensive threat from outside of 12 feet is Steph Curry with this lineup. You're going to see them employ this box and one for the rest of the game, basically. And the Warriors didn't score against it, so it was extremely effective. The only difference is the Raptors couldn't convert on the offensive end, which we will take a look at soon. So Van Vliet with a nice steal there, and the foul by Steph Curry, and that put Van Vliet or Kawhi on the free throw line. Clear path foul. So here's a good example of the Raptors zone and how it kind of morphs. So we can see Gasol kind of retreat back, but there's nobody in that corner. So he's telling Kawhi to kind of bump over and have it kind of morph a little bit to where the offense is. Siakam's hanging out and playing like free safety at this point. So you can see they're not all in the exact position they normally are, but they're still in that kind of 4 shell position as Van Vliet chases Steph around. As the ball gets kind of moving and the offense gets re-spaced, we can see it take a little bit more shape here with Siakam at the top left and Kawhi in the bottom right now. Because Kawhi and Siakam kind of interchange, they can all play those 3 bottom positions with Lowry basically staying at the elbow the whole time. Chase Quinn Cook off the three-point line and basically not allow anybody else to have an opportunity to shoot. Iggy probably could have made the extra pass here, but he ends up shooting and missing this 3. So here we can see the Warriors actually could have got a clean look off of this. Steph is going to kind of come out on the baseline here off of this, like, I guess you want to call it a screen from Cousins. Draymond recognizes that Kawhi is above Cousins. He's hitting Cousins open. In my opinion, if you're Cousins, you just got to one dribble and pound go through Gasol's chest here and try to score a layup. Instead, he does make the good basketball play, hits Iguodala. We get extra passes to Quinn Cook, who had to hit a couple threes, so a good rhythm three for Cook again. Good closeout by Green there, and Cook ends up just missing the shot. The Raptors come back down there in their little matchup box and one zone. We hit Draymond on the roll. A little bit of extra passes, but no real advantage here. I feel like DeMarcus Cousins should be posting up a little bit more, maybe finding Kawhi in the low block. Steph beats the double team here and actually has an advantage at this point, but then just forgets how to dribble a basketball for a second, and the ball scrambles around, gets hit to Draymond, and he throws up a prayer and misses off the front of the rim. The Warriors really have yet to get a great look against this box and one zone. We can see here that this is just a pure settle from DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, yeah, he's open from three, but that's what the Warriors want. He settles and misses the wide open three. The Raptors go the other way. The Raptors are still in that box and one. With a little bit more movement here with Quinn Cook kind of running through. They look like to run their dribble, drag, pin down action, but the zone, Siakam takes that away. Driving kick from Draymond to Cousins. Cousins drives in and gets called with a jump ball. And then goes to the Raptors after the jump ball. You can't ask for a better look to give up if you're playing a zone. In this lineup is a Quinn Cook kind of rush mid-range, and that's exactly what they gave up, and it worked perfectly there. So we can see here after a timeout for the Warriors setting up kind of that same fist action we saw earlier for Klay Thompson. Steph is going to receive this little kind of down screen from DeMarcus Cousins. Draymond drives through the middle of the zone because Siakam knows it's coming, so he's not even looking at Draymond right now. Draymond drives in, and he makes the right read and right decision. He would have found DeMarcus Cousins, just ended up just missing the pass a little bit, and the ball goes out of bounds. And that's the Raptors basically held the Warriors scoreless by playing a box and one zone in the NBA Finals. Imagine that. Thanks for watching this breakdown, guys. I hope you guys got an insight to what happened in Game 2. If you guys like this breakdown, if you want to follow me on Twitter at HalfCourtHoops, check out thebasketballplaybook.com, subscribe to my channel. That'd be great. I'll talk to you next time.